Hey y'all, welcome back to Neon's Movie Reviews. I'm Neon, this is my review channel. Today I am talking about USS Indianapolis, Men of Courage, directed by Mario Van Peebles. But before I dive into this, I just want to say, if you enjoyed this content, please give this video a like, really helps out my channel. And in the final day of the Summer of Nic Cage, after this, I got 2 more reviews coming out today, and then we're done. We're done with the Summer of Nic Cage. But if you want to go ahead and get notified of those, make sure to go ahead and subscribe and hit the little bell in the corner to actually get a notification. But USS Indianapolis. This is quite possibly one of the greatest concepts for a movie I've ever seen. It's a true story. It's if you remember Jaws, it's Quint's story that he's telling them. It's basically the USS Indianapolis. It was the ship that transported the atomic bombs that won World War II. On their way back, they took a torpedo. They went down, lost like 300 men in that alone, and then the other remaining 800 men, 500 of them were killed due to exposure, dehydration, saltwater infection, and they were also dumped into shark-infested waters, so they were just eaten. And it's a horrifying story. It's fucking just prime storytelling potential to make a movie out of. It's one of the worst disasters in American history. The fact that we just left these men there because they weren't really supposed to be on this mission. Everything was hush-hush, so if they're going out there, they're not supposed to be going out there. They're not supposed to be coming back from out there anyway. So there's a lot of fucked up things that made the situation happen. And movie is directed by Mario Van Peebles. It stars Nicolas Cage, Tom Sizemore, Thomas Jane. And if it came out in the 90s, or even the 2000s, I would have said that's probably going to be a great movie. That all sounds fantastic. But it didn't. It came out 2016. And because of that, I knew going in to have a certain amount of skepticism with this film. Don't approach this like this is going to be Saving Private Ryan. This is not going to be Black Hawk Down. This is not the high quality war movie I'm hoping it's going to be. I already know that. But boy, oh God, did I not realize how bad this movie would be. Like I said, great fucking story potential, but they fucked it up in every way conceivable. They go down a forced love triangle, something like from Pearl Harbor, and it's very out of place. Your actors are not talented enough, or the writing is not talented enough, or the directing is not talented enough, or everything is not there to make that work and be compelling. So it just feels ham-fisted and just tacked on to provide drama. Tom Sizemore's character, I don't know what the fuck he was. I don't know why Tom Sizemore was in this. I don't know. Tom Sizemore is without a doubt one of the worst performances in this movie. Thomas Jane is in it. He's got 5 minutes of screen time, but he's got fucking top billing. Nicolas Cage is really the star of this movie. It's him and the 2 dudes in the love triangle, sadly. But he plays the captain. He's the one that kind of was given this shit story to deal with, and they fucking hung him out to dry for it as well. They pinned everything on him, and I want to say he gave a decent performance, but he didn't. That's one thing going through the Summer of Nic Cage is, no matter what, no matter how bad the movie is, usually Nic Cage is doing something that's entertaining. It may not be right for this movie, but he's trying something. And in this, it really didn't feel like he was. It felt like he was showing up to do a TV movie. and he was just there to collect a paycheck. That's how it felt. And it's how it felt with the previous movie too, Left Behind. But, oh my god. I thought Left Behind had bad special effects. This fucking movie, some of the worst special effects I've ever seen. They are up there with 90s Sci-Fi Channel when made for TV like horror movies. They're fucking awful. The water looks like it came out of a PS1 video game when you see it, and like the ship in some shots, it looks like a fucking cutaway or a cinematic in a PS1 video game. It's horrible. When the ship is going down, mind you, completely historically inaccurate. The fucking torpedoes don't hit the right side. Like, the way the ship goes down is fucking inaccurate. Like, they tried to do Titanic, regardless of if Titanic actually happened here. And that was so bad. There was so much green screen in that ship sequence too. So much green screen, and horribly done green screen too. Like, you have there's that scene where the characters exactly like in Titanic, where the ship is going down and everybody's like hanging on, just trying to hang on, and you got the characters that are falling and everything. Well, you have that sequence, but shows one guy, he's like, you see direct shot underneath him, there's all this fucked up shit that he's gonna hit if he lets go. Like, there's no fucking way that if he lets go, he's not going to survive. Like, there's no fucking way. And he'll let go, and then he just splashes into the water. Perfectly fine. And then next guy, same exact green screen shot behind him. Let's go. Does the same thing. Perfectly fine. Next guy, same exact green screen shot behind him. It looks like all three of these guys were in the exact same position, and because of how badly it's done. But the third guy, when he lets go, and you know it's going to happen too because it hangs on him for a couple seconds too long, he lets go, and in just some mind-blowingly bad CGI, you see him hitting and bouncing like a pinball against all the obstacles on the way down. It's fucking horrible. But then comes the sharks. Then comes the survival movie of this thing. And this is where you really need talented actors, because the sharks are not the sharks are fucking real. Like, I don't know how they managed to make the sharks not threatening. It's probably because of the horrible CGI shots when the sharks attack. It's literally something out of a stereotypical 90s made for direct-to-video horror shark movie, where it does the craw with the shots. Like, it's so bad. So bad. And they do it again and again and again. But they fucking have real sharks swimming around their actors, yet somehow I have no sense of tension whatsoever, because I know it's not going to matter where the actual shark is. What's going to matter is when the CGI sharks come. And yeah, it feels like something out of Sharknado. But worse. This is like the films before Sharknado, before they were embracing the bad special effects. They were just like, oh, these look fucking great, don't they? That's how it feels. Like, it feels like they're proud of these special effects. And the film comes off like it's proud of itself, which is horrifying because it's so bad, and it dedicates itself to all these men. Like, it does all this stuff to try to be like, hey, we're doing this right, guys. We're doing this right. We're doing a big professional movie, and we're trying to do our Saving Private Ryan, paying respects. That's what it feels like, or a Band of Brothers. You even have at the end of the movie, there's like a sequence with interviews with real people, and like there's a clip show showing like the pictures of the real people, like all this stuff, like. And the film is so bad that it's offensive. It's not even historically accurate. If it was badly acted and badly directed, but it was at least historically accurate, I'm fine with that, because then I can look at it like one of those shitty History Channel reenactments that, like, You don't really get it anymore, but back in the day you used to. And, like, I'm fine with that if that's what it is. But it's not even historically accurate. And they do all these things to make it sound like it is, but it's not. It's fucking not. It was so bad. So bad. I like, this gets a 3 out of 10. This was an awful, awful movie. It's not as bad as some of the others, but this was so fucking bad. What saves this film, though, is about halfway through, I just started laughing at it. Because this is so bad, it's good. I can laugh at this. Unlike Left Behind. I can't fucking laugh at Left Behind. It's just horrible. It's painful to get through. This, you can tell they thought that they were doing this right. And, like, that's what makes this funny. You know, it's kind of it's kind of like The Room in that way, where it's just like, these people thought and were trying to make a legitimate movie. They were trying to do this all right, but every step of the fucking way they failed. And it's quite impressive to see how much of a colossal fuck up this movie is. Having said that, I would recommend this movie with all of what I said prior to my recommendation still in there. Like, I'm not recommending this movie. I'm recommending a so bad it's good movie. And as long as you know that you are not in for a good movie, you are in for an awful fucking movie that you're gonna just, you know, fucking MST3K with your friends on. Like, yeah, have at it. Have a good time. But if not, stay the fuck away from this film. This film possibly going to offend you. Now, when I looked it up after I'd watched it, I was curious about the budget. And first thing I saw was the box office poll, which was $2.1 million. And I was just like, that seems fitting. It's probably released only on a few screens. Really, really small budget, judging by the special effects and lack of. Okay. What was the budget of this film? I'm curious if it just made its money back. Nope. $40 million budget, which is what they released, which means that's just the production budget. So tack on probably another 20 to 40. You know, I'll go low. I'll go 10 to 40. But that's putting this around 50 to 60, most likely, production budget. Which means they, all throughout, were trying to make this legit. But they just failed on every fucking level. It's maddening how badly this film is made. Like, yeah, like, just, if you want to see a great version of this story, just watch Jaws. Just watch Jaws. Robert Shaw, you don't even see anything of this. You just have Robert Shaw telling the story over the course of, like, a 5-minute scene, if that. Fantastic. Fantastic. That, 10 out of 10. That is just magnificent. But a 2-hour and 13-minute movie about the entire ordeal, somehow fucking awful. Now, I mean, bashing aside, this film is awful, but it does deal with some things that I was not expecting it to deal with, which I do want to bring up. So it's not just the disaster. You do see them heading out with the bombs to deliver them, so you do have that. And then at the end, once they're rescued, that's not the end of the story. You also do get the story that they basically hung up the captain to fucking dry for all this shit. He got court-martialed, and yeah, like, so you do get all that. But there's no point to any of it. Like, when you get to that point, you're just like, oh, maybe they're going to bring this in and have some nice message at the end that all of this comes together on, and it makes this 2 hour and 10 plus minute movie worthwhile. Nope. Just cut to clip show and interviews with the real people. But I've spent enough time talking about this piece of shit movie. What have you seen this movie? If you haven't, what did you think? Am I alone? Like, am I bashing on this film for no fucking reason? Is this movie good in your opinion, or like was this movie total shit? Like I'm saying, let me know. Like, let me know down in the comments. But I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna be talking about Pay the Ghost next. That'll be coming out later on today. And then the whole reason I fucking did this series was to talk about Grindhouse and his little cameo in Grindhouse, where he's on screen maybe a minute. The whole reason I fucking started the Summer of Nic Cage, and that'll come out probably later on tonight, maybe very late tonight, but it'll come out today. But that's gonna wrap all this up. Thank you for watching. As I said, got those coming out later on today, so I'll catch you soon. And yeah. Hope you all stay safe. Till next time.